All right, so we're going to be talking about the area formula for kites. And to begin with, the formula is half times diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. And diagonals in a kite are just these lines right here. And we can also translate that. That's the same thing as diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2, because multiplying by the lengths of the two diagonals and dividing by 2 is the same thing as multiplying the diagonals by 1/2. So now we're going to get into a few examples. So the first examples I have here, I'm going to use the area formula half times diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. And these letters here, this A represents this diagonal right here, the length of this, and this B represents this diagonal, the width. So just to make this a little easier, this formula is the same thing as half times A times B, just in terms of this. So what we're going to do, I'm going to start with A just because 6 is an even number and that's easier to cut in half than 3. So half times 6 times 3. So 1/2 times 6 is 3, and 3 times 3 is 9. And the label is centimeters, so your answer would be 9 centimeters squared. Moving on to the next one. Same goes for here. This 8 centimeters is represented by the A, the length, and this 4 centimeters is represented by the diagonal B, the width. So you would do 1/2 times 8 times 4. 1/2 times 8 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16 centimeters squared. Don't forget your labels. And now moving on to this one. This one looks a little different, but these letters here just represent the line segments. So A and B, this line segment represents that first diagonal, and C and D, this line segment represents that second diagonal. So I'm going to do 1/2 times 12, which is this diagonal right here, times 6. 1/2 times 12 is 6. 6 times 6 is 36 centimeters squared. All right, and why does this formula work, you might ask? So our formula is, like we said, 1/2 times diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. So for this example, what we're going to do is this line segment, AC, this diagonal, is equal to 8 centimeters, and this diagonal BD is equal to 4 centimeters. So we want to figure out, why does this work? And one way we can do this is to cut it out and to see, well, we know the width here is 4 centimeters. So if we were to cut this in half, this would be 2 centimeters. The length stays the same because we didn't alter the length. So I'm going to cut this out to show you what I mean. All right. So right now, just to make this a little easier too, we'll color these in all separate so we can remember that they are different parts. Okay, so I cut these out, and what we're going to do is we're going to flip them over. So if I take this and flip this over, and then I take this one and flip it over, you can see that we have a rectangle, right? So what we're going to do is, it was at first our width was 4 centimeters, correct? But now that we have it in half, it's a rectangle. This is only 2, and we didn't alter the length at all, so this remains 8. 2 times 8, because length times width equals area, equals 16 centimeters squared. Let's see if that is the same thing as our formula. 1/2 times 8 times 4. 1/2 times 8 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16 centimeters squared. Look at that. And that is how we prove that kite formula.